Bleeding Purple Podcast.
This is a 52-yard try left pass with 31 seconds to go. Snap, spot, kick, up, distance, fine. It is no good. He missed it.
Talk good and loud so they all can hear you. Make a short speech so they all will listen to you. Then sit down so they all will like you. Thank you.
Tickled his foot, he's in a good place. I want Teddy. I don't want to go somewhere else. So.
Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in to Bleeding Purple. Podcast about the Minnesota Vikings. My name is Tyler. I'm the host. Joined by Adam, Patrick. How are you today?
What's up? We're recovering from this holiday.
Yeah. Did you eat a lot on Thanksgiving?
What did I eat on Thanksgiving? I was in Vegas, so I didn't have turkey. I had a burger.
Because there's no turkey in Las Vegas. That just
Well, they had like all the buffets, but they're like $50 a person, so I'm like, yeah. Let's just go to a burger place.
And then you're getting turkey that's been like hanging out for a number of hours under like.
And I got like a vodka milkshake, so that was fine.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
Yeah, it was good.
I ate way too much. It was delicious and wonderful. I loved it. And the Vikings won. Yay! 30-23 was the final.
I did watch that in the car on the way to Vegas. So
really,
on my phone. Yeah.
Very cool. How futuristic of you, as we speak on Skype via the internet.
Yeah.
God bless.
Yes, they won.
Everyone.
They won.
They did. A lot of questionable calls in the end. People were going nuts. Keenum killed it again, 21 for 30, 282 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's unbelievable. Murray, 84 yards, a touchdown. Thielen, 89 yards. Rudolph had 2 touchdowns. Griffin had two sacks. They killed it. They dominated for most of the game, it felt like. And then at the tail end there, Detroit kind of snuck back into things. And then the absolutely terrifying penalty and blocked field goal that wasn't. I panicked. I was like, I got up and walked away.
Oh, you thought
it?
You thought it was good?
I thought it was real. Or I don't know. I didn't catch the beginning of the play. I had no idea he was outside.
I was going to say, you didn't notice that he was like
5
next
yards
to the kicker when they hiked the ball?
No, I missed that part, and I was terrified. I thought they were going to lose. Well, because they would have. I suppose they could have gone for 2, technically, but they would have, with a touchdown and extra point, that would have just been tied. There's no way they go for 2 there. Do you? Right? Detroit?
No, not with Caldwell as their coach.
Yeah.
No.
But terrifying nonetheless. A lot of people blaming it on the penalties. Would you blame it on the penalties, or do you think the defense kind of took their foot off the gas at the end?
I really don't like to blame stuff on penalties. It did play a part in the game, but I mean, you can't let it come down to that.
It always plays a part in the game.
It does, but you just got to take care of business. It's just like, if you're in a UFC fight, you can't let it come down to the judges. You got to take care of business beforehand. So, unfortunately, it probably did have an effect on the game, especially that non-pass interference.
The Diggs one was bad. I mean, that one I will admit that one was
and
bad.
And then the taunting.
Yeah, the taunting call was
as the other guy was celebrating.
Yeah. And when that play came out, I thought it was on Detroit.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I thought it was going to be a first down, but
and it said Case Keenum, and I'm like, that taunting. He doesn't even swear.
Yeah, exactly. See, and that was the thing. It was like taunting from a guy who, I mean, even the way he that's not even taunting.
That wasn't. It
was.
He didn't at all. He just tossed the ball.
Yeah. Guy's foot happened to be there because he was rolling around in celebration, and he got a flag thrown. Those two, I didn't like very much, but like Florio, did you see Florio on Pro Football? He was like conspiracy theory, like the refs are doing this to keep the games close. We've heard Roger Goodell talk about how much he likes the games close later on. I kid you not. It was like
So why didn't they do that? Why didn't they do that for the Cowboys game?
No idea. I don't know.
They just
You'd have to ask Mr. Florio that. But
yeah,
and so of course he does that, and then kaboom, and everyone's talking about all these penalties. But I honestly didn't think, I mean, the Diggs call was bad and the taunting call was unfortunate, but I didn't feel like they were getting like jobbed really to me the way it's kind of being presented.
When they weren't going to review that Lions touchdown, that was a little odd.
That was weird, yeah.
But then the Lions took forever because they're the Lions to kick the extra point.
Exactly.
So they're like, well, I guess we'll review it. And then they're like, oh, it's not a touchdown.
And that's on you, Detroit. You get up there and do your thing, no problem, no review, and nobody says anything. Yeah. But, yeah, it seems like it's being presented like, well, obviously, like Florio is presented like it was some, like, well-crafted I mean,
people always say that, though.
and the refs in this league, this happens all the time. There's no way they're this organized. They're just kind of bad. Nobody knows what the rules are, really. And they get told on a weekly basis, like, here's a rule that you should, like, focus on this week. And maybe taunting was that rule. I don't know.
I don't understand why. I see refs, and they're all, like, super old and stuff, and I don't understand why there aren't younger refs in the game. I know they want people to have experience and know all the rules and stuff, but why can't we have people who can actually, see clearly on the field?
Or at least understand, like, what is and is not considered offensive to the masses. You know, like Antonio Brown twerking. That if the ref is 37 years old, he probably is like, that's hilarious, and doesn't throw a flag, you know? But old lawyer...
Well, he probably would. He probably would throw a flag just because they have to.
Well, yeah, I suppose rules-wise last year, but I don't think he would have been like offended to the point where now it's like, okay, everything else is cool, but no twerking. It's like that's such an old white man rule. Like, give me a break. Get some like.
He's not Joe Buck.
Yeah. It's ridiculous to me.
Speaking of which, he found time to throw in that. Oh, Aaron Rodgers might be coming back, and if the Packers win, then they could have a chance to be in the playoffs.
It's unbelievable.
Not anymore because they lost last night.
Yeah, do you think that they spend time together? Like, do you think they like maybe vacation together? Buck
I'm sure Joe Buck like tries to text him and call him a couple times, and Aaron Rodgers is like, "Nah, I'm not going to answer that.
I can't do this, Joe. I'm sorry, I can't do it anymore."
It's not you, it's me.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That is someone
It's like every game. It doesn't matter. Actually, it's probably every game that the Vikings are involved in because that's the only time we really notice it. Doesn't matter who they're playing. Joe Buck's going to find a way to squeeze in an Aaron Rodgers little tidbit every time he calls a game.
Ugh. So Packers aren't mathematically eliminated from the playoffs.
No, what are they? I think they're 5-6.
Yeah, 5-6, and
they'd have to win every game to have a chance.
Yeah,
because 10-6 isn't a guarantee to get in the playoffs this year in the NFC either.
Yeah,
because there's so many good teams. Even the Seahawks.
Seahawks
are 7-4, and they're not. If the playoffs started today, they wouldn't be in it.
See, and that kind of snuck up on me because all of a sudden there's a lot of 8-9 win teams kicking around, and it seemed like there were a lot of middle of the pack happening a few weeks ago.
A lot of teams are on winning streaks too.
Yeah,
like the Saints were.
Yeah.
Vikings are. The Eagles are. I think the Patriots are. But yeah, I think the Steelers are. I think the Steelers have won 5 in a row now.
Yeah. How many wins do they have this season? Are they 9?
I think they have the same. They have the same record as the Vikings. Yeah, okay. 9 wins. They beat the Vikings.
The Steelers, see, like, that is the kind of franchise. That's what I want the Vikings to be, and I think Zimmer can get them there. But like that, like they're always there. They're not always incredible. They're not always Super Bowl favorites, but they're always there. They're always involved in the playoff race. They're always in the playoffs. Do you think that they can? I mean, Roethlisberger is a good guy to have around for that kind of stuff, but. I'm going to do that at some point too.
Helps that they're in the NFC North too. They get to play all 3 of those teams every year.
Mm-hmm.
Not like the Vikings have to play the Packers every year. The Lions are a pretty good team, and the Bears are decent every year. At least they give the Vikings a good fight every time they play most of the time, at least in Chicago.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Steelers get to play the Browns twice a year, the Bengals twice a year, and the Ravens, which aren't really that good anymore either. So I think that has something to do with it. But yeah, they have good players, and they pretty much have the same kind of philosophy as the Vikings do right now, to just build around the defense, have a good quarterback, have a 1,000-yard receiver, and a good, a solid running game. So yeah, I think that's a good model to I guess try and mold your team but
yeah,
maybe not be as dirty as the Steelers are sometimes. Even though don't ask Packers fans how dirty Anthony Barr is. So
yeah, good call. Are we? I don't think so. If Mike Zimmer doesn't think so, I don't think so.
No, they're physical.
Yes, thank you.
They don't. Yeah, they're not dirty.
What else should we talk about? Keenum killed it again.
Yeah, he did. He had 2 touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns. He ran for 1.
Yeah, on like a designed run.
He
guy can do it all.
I don't think he had any touchdowns in the second half, but he had a couple key third down passes that they needed. Yeah, he did good. He didn't throw any interceptions. Didn't fumble the ball. So that's what they needed.
Turn it over, and it seems like the offense is at this point, it's going to be over 200 yards and a touchdown or 2 if he just doesn't turn the ball over.
I think he got sacked once or twice, so it's the first time in a while. But
yeah, that was strange.
He had a lot of. I just saw. I think it was a tweet that Pro Football Focus shot out that the Vikings were the second most pressured team last week. So the Lions brought a lot of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So there's only so much, the Vikings can do. They only gave up 1 or 2 sacks. So if they're the second most pressured team, I think they're second to the Colts, and the Colts gave up 8 sacks yesterday. So.
Very different. 2 sacks versus 8 sacks. Those are very, very different.
And the Colts lost.
Yeah, and that offensive line has been playing so well that and it's funny, they didn't play as well, and they gave up a couple of sacks, and it wasn't earth-shattering, destroy, your momentum kind of sacks. I mean, obviously, they never help, but...
Yeah. They still played well, in... the screen game and the running game.
Yep.
You saw Elflein running stride for stride with Stephon Diggs.
Unbelievable. He is unbelievable. And that screen, he snaps that ball and is it's like
he's down there.
Yeah, he beat the football over there. Big Pat Elflein. Yeah, he's incredible. He won't get any talk about it, but Rookie of the Year style, man. He's one of the best rookies playing in the league now.
That would be amazing, but that would never happen.
No, it won't ever happen.
An offensive lineman.
We should start the campaign.
Yeah.
For Rookie of the Year, man.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
I'm down. We can do that.
They got him moving all over the place. Shermer, what else can you say about the way he has been? I mean, this is maybe the most I've ever, aside from when Norv was, kind of falling apart and then leaving, and a lot of people are talking about Pat Shermer and how
good he's done?
Yeah, how well he's done with this offense this season.
Well, yeah, we've talked about in the past about how he's not stubborn about letting his players do what they need to do and working the offense to meet their skills.
Exactly, adjusting what he's doing for the personnel that he is dealing with. It boggles my mind that coaches don't
do that.
Yeah, how could you not do that? Especially when you're depending on the situation that you're walking into. Come on, you got a roster full of guys that don't fit your offense. Cater to them a little bit. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So well done, Pat Shermer. What else should we talk about? Rudolph, 2 touchdowns. He adds an element to that offense that,
red zone.
Yeah, I sometimes forget about him.
Yeah, because he's sort of taken, I think, a backseat in the offense this year. Mm-hmm. Because Bradford used to love to throw to him all the time. Yeah. But now he's more strictly a red zone guy or a third down type of receiver, and more staying in, blocking, helping stuff with that. But yeah, he's good. I don't know. He's never really developed into that kind of. I think people sort of expected him to be sort of like a Gronk or a Jimmy Graham when Jimmy Graham was amazing.
Yeah,
that kind of player. But that's just not the kind of player that he is.
Yeah.
He's big and tall and strong, but he's not like a superhuman like some of those other guys are.
Do you think the contract that he signed has a lot to do with those expectations, or do you think that is kind of an unfair way?
Well, he was drafted in. I think he was drafted in the second round. So he played at Notre Dame. So
and he caught a lot of. Didn't he have a lot of touchdowns when he was a rookie? Didn't he play really, really, really well as a rookie?
Either his rookie year or I think it was his second year.
Second year, okay.
He went to the Pro Bowl. I think he was MVP or something of the Pro Bowl. Not that matters.
I wonder if that's on his mantle.
Adrian Peterson, I think, is the Pro Bowl MVP of the Pro Bowl too. So it tells you what you need to know.
Rudolph, I don't know. Good for him. Welcome back, Rudolph. Good on you. Couple of touchdowns. I don't know. It's nice to see him around. I also Jerry has made a couple of appearances during that game. Yeah. That was nice to see.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden this offense kind of seems like it's just like full of weapons. And I don't know if I would have said that about these same guys at the beginning of the season, you know? It's incredible how much they have.
I would say they have some weapons, but I wouldn't said they were full of weapons.
Full of weapons, yeah. And it kind of looks like they're kind of full of weapons. Cuz Jerry's does this thing on like the third down and like intermediate stuff, and I mean,
they have a lot of different kinds of players in their offense, so they're able to do a lot of different things. You know, you got the short, little, speedy guy like McKinnon, and you got Diggs out there, and then you got kind of the big bruiser type, I guess you could say, with Murray in the backfield there, and then you got Thielen, who's able to just get open whenever and make plays when needed, and Rudolph, and even David Morgan in there sometimes will get the ball.
Morgan has been a nice surprise.
Yeah, it's good to go to him when people don't expect it because he's not really in the offense that much. Then you got Treadwell, who's not doing anything. Do
you think they keep him? Do you think they just cut him loose after this year, or do you think they hang on? Because, I mean, he has not shown. I mean, he just...
if they keep him, I think, and he does the same thing next year, I think next year would be his last year.
Yeah. But you don't think they'll cut him loose after this season?
No. If anything, they'll probably try and see what they can get for him for a trade. That's it.
Oh, yeah, there you go. And he is, because he's still, of course, on his like rookie deal, so it's not like it's costing him a ton of money to keep him around or anything. Then, Spielman could use him in the draft or something to trade for a pick or something like that. Throw him to the Browns or something. Yeah, exactly. They got a lot of picks, don't they? Didn't they accrue a number of picks? Yeah, I think they have like 37 or something like that. Wow. No, they don't. 37. That would be... well, they would mess them all up anyway, so... Yeah, that's true. Just not pick the 4 successful players in the draft. What else? Defense looked really good again. Xavier Rhodes comes up with a big interception at the end of the game. What else happened? He didn't have a good game. I was just watching film of him before we did this. I think he allowed Marvin Jones to have over 100 yards receiving. He's the first receiver to get over 100 yards against the Vikings this year. Yeah. So I don't know what was going on with that. I was trying to figure it out on the All-22 film or whatever, and it looked like Rhodes had good coverage on all the catches that Jones had, but Jones just made ridiculous catches. He had that ridiculous one in between Newman and Rhodes when they had 12 people on the field. On the field, yeah. Still made the catch. And then there was another one where he just jumped and reached over Rhodes to grab it. So hopefully it's not, an indication of things to come for Rhodes because he's got to face Julio Jones this week. So. And Julio Jones played pretty well on Sunday. Yeah, he did all right. He did all right. Pretty good. Yeah, that kind of, I was not very afraid of Atlanta, but after that, I'm kind of afraid. And I was talking with, I think it was at work, but people were not even really going at Rhodes anymore.
No.
They were kind of avoiding him, and Stafford had no problem going, and I mean, it was like right away he started.
Well, I think a lot of the yards he gave up were in the second half too, when the Lions were behind.
Mm-hmm.
So the Vikings defense probably wasn't, as aggressive, or Rhodes wasn't up there pressing like he normally would. So that probably had something to do with it. But yeah, Stafford doesn't care. He's going to throw to anybody. He'll throw on Revis whenever Revis was good. So
yeah.
He doesn't really care.
That was just kind of not a surprise, I guess, but it was weird to see Rhodes tackling a guy who had just made a catch. Feels like
I believe Xavier Rhodes in coverage this year hadn't allowed more than 40 yards to his opposing receivers all year until last week.
And he gave up over 100.
Yeah, but he had the interception. So
yeah, and when they needed it too.
Yeah,
totally crucial.
And he had some good tackles too.
So playoffs, I guess. Playoffs. That's right. So if it started right now, Vikings would have a bye, correct? They would have the number 2 seed.
2 seed.
2?
Number 2.
So the Eagles have... Who do the Eagles have left? They're
playing Seattle next week.
Seattle next week.
That's a tough one. At
Rams.
Seattle.
That won't be easy either.
At Rams.
And then the Giants, that's probably a win.
Yeah. And I believe... Do they have to play the Saints too?
I don't know. Oakland... Maybe Oakland, Dallas. Let me look it up here.
Oh, yeah, Dallas. Always Dallas at the end of the year.
Yeah,
they're the 1 seed. Vikings are the 2. I believe the Rams are 3.
Yep.
Panthers,
that sounds right.
Or no. Yeah, Rams are 3. Saints are 4. Panthers are 5. Panthers are 5 with an 8-3 record. And 6 is the Falcons. And then right behind those are the Seahawks at 7-4 and the Lions at 6-5.
How many games do you see the Eagles losing the rest of the way? Maybe 2? So you got to think they'll
be... Unless somebody gets... Like Carson Wentz gets hurt or something.
Yeah.
Which he seems like a pretty tough dude. So
he does, yeah. It doesn't seem like he's...
And their offensive line. Yeah, their offensive line's pretty good. But I don't know. The Rams have a good defensive line. So they could create some havoc. And the Seahawks have a good defense. So I'm curious to see how that game goes next week.
Seattle is kind of... I mean, they're kind of not what they used to be. I mean, I know a lot of guys are hurt, and that, it's basically just the defense a ton, but
it's basically just Russell Wilson running around trying to make things happen.
Yeah, that just doesn't seem sustainable to me. So I just can't see them as like an issue.
It's
for
kind
the
of
Vikings going forward, but
it's kind of what Aaron Rodgers has had the past couple of years too, where it's just pretty much been him. And now Russell Wilson gets Eddie Lacy, so
that's just what you get. You're a really good quarterback. Here's Eddie Lacy. Run for your life. We're going to spend money on something else besides the offensive line.
No, I'd rather have the Seahawks not be in the playoffs though, because if they get in, I don't. They could upset some people. I feel like just because the experience they have playing in those types of games. It's kind of scary.
That's true. I don't know though. It feels like Sherman is such an important part of what they do. Both not only like on the field, but then like the attitude. The way he kind of carries himself, and
he's still on the sidelines though.
Yeah, that's true.
With his
but
little
to not have him out there,
card or whatever he's got there. Yeah. No. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't.
Don't want him in.
I don't want to see them in. No, there's a lot of the season left, so I think there's still a really good chance they'll be in there, especially the fact that all the teams in the top 6 or whatever are pretty much playing each other over these next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and they are playing themselves. They will take care of a lot of them. Does Atlanta still has to play Carolina yet for a second time?
Yeah, I believe they play the Panthers and they play the Saints. And then the Vikings play the Falcons and the Panthers. I believe the Rams are like the only team that doesn't play one of those two. They play like the Cardinals.
Interesting. Well, those games will be interesting to see how those all wind up shaking out, because that will make...
Oh, yeah, the seating's probably going to look very, very different. If not in a week, 2 weeks, it could look way different.
Yeah.
I still think the Lions have a long shot, though, to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Their schedule's pretty easy, but
yeah,
I still think that loss on Thursday hurts them, which is fine.
Yeah, it definitely does. And now, I mean, it essentially seals the division for the Vikings, because what are they, 3 games up with 5 to go?
Yeah, you would like to think so.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past the Vikings to somehow manage to lose that lead, but you would think that would be it. And then, yeah, it's just hard to see the Eagles losing more than 2. It's hard to not be afraid of Atlanta the way they've been, or the way they played last weekend. I mean, granted, that was against Tampa Bay, and...
You remember the Vikings had a very good game on offense against the Bucs, too.
Yes, they did.
Actually, I think the Falcons had like 368 yards passing yesterday, and when the Vikings played the Bucs, they had 369 yards passing.
Oh, snap. What up? That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
Vikings are going to win this.
Yeah, I've heard people be like, oh, the Falcons offense looked really good yesterday. They might be back. And I'm like, they played the Bucs.
Yeah.
Like, and then the Bucs almost came back and won.
With Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
As their QB.
And, do you want to just get right into the Falcons or whatever?
Yeah, we might as well. I don't know a ton about their defense. What do you know about I mean, they seem like kind of middle of the road as far as like the minimal amount of ranking stuff.
Their rushing defense is pretty bad. I think they've allowed over 100 yards rushing in like seven of their games this year. So that's good for the Vikings because they like to run the ball. Mm-hmm. So Xavier Murray could have a nice day against them, or McKinnon, whichever chooses to do that. And then they lost their top corner, Desmond Trufant. He left yesterday with a concussion.
Yeah. So and he's in the concussion protocol, right? So he's not necessarily out for.
No, yeah, but he's got to go. He's got to pass everything to return.
And so is their running back as well, right?
Yep, Devonta Freeman. He's been out for the past 2 games with a concussion. Yep. He still hasn't passed all that stuff, and this is his second concussion of the year, I think.
Oh, wow! So both of those guys might be. But
they have good backup running backs like Tevin Coleman. He's pretty good. I think he's their leading rusher now after yesterday.
Okay.
And some other guy, Ward. I can't remember his first name. But he's all right too. But the Vikings have a good rushing defense, so I don't really worry too much about that. They just stopped Todd Gurley 2 weeks ago. So
yeah. And with Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, I would be more worried about them beating you.
Yeah, I would. But
running back,
but Matt Ryan's, I don't know. He hasn't looked that great this year. Like yesterday was probably his best game of the whole year. Otherwise, he's only passing for maybe 230 a game, a touchdown or 2 here. It's funny, he didn't even throw both touchdowns yesterday. What's his face? Sanu had that long 50-yard touchdown. Did you see that?
No, I missed that.
Yeah, it was a trick. They lined up in Wildcat, and Mohamed Sanu was the quarterback.
Oh, yes, I did actually. Now that you're saying
it was
that,
it was like a 50-yard bomb.
Yeah. It was perfect. I was amazed at the throw. Amazed.
Well, apparently he was recruited in college to be a quarterback. So
I thought it was really funny too, his reaction after that touchdown and the way he was coming off the field. I was like, God, I wish quarterbacks would do that more often. Just be screaming and go right to the sideline. Yeah.
Like when do you remember? Have you ever seen the highlight of when he threw I think it was a touchdown in the Super Bowl, like the first Super Bowl. He like took his helmet off and like ran
Runs around.
Yeah, it's Brett Favre. But yeah, Julio, he's pretty good. But Rhodes has played. He's covered him in the past and
done well.
Held him under 100 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if he's been on him the entire time for every time that he's faced him, but I think the last game was 2015. He was pretty much on him the whole time, and I think he held him to around like 85 yards and no touchdowns. So, he's good. He matches up better, I think, with the bigger receivers than people like Marvin Jones and stuff that are lankier and can reach over him.
Yeah, definitely.
Not that Julio Jones isn't lanky.
Yeah, because he is. Yeah, but no, I would agree with that. I had a question for you, and I totally lost it.
Yeah.
So that's good podcasting stuff there. God, shoot, that sucks. I was going to ask you about the Atlanta's offensive line, and I mean, it's pretty safe to assume that the Vikings, because they have all season, are going to be getting a fair amount of pressure. But are there any dudes that are hurt, or is there anybody?
I don't think so. I think they're all intact. I wouldn't quote me on that, but I don't remember any big pieces of their offensive line missing.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've allowed around like 15, 16 sacks this year, so they're pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I think, like the Vikings offense, they do a good job of just getting the ball out quickly and not letting the pass rush get to them.
Yeah.
But Mike Zimmer's been able to confuse offenses this year. What was it? Was it last week when? Yeah, Stafford called. No, it was Jared Goff when he called timeout because the Vikings put like everyone on the line of scrimmage.
And he couldn't handle it.
He called timeout, and then they came back out, and Mike Zimmer did the same exact thing. Yeah.
I thought that was all crowd noise.
No.
When he was calling those timeouts.
Yeah, he was like,
this confuses me, timeout.
Let's call a new play. Yeah. No. But I'm happy the Saints lost.
Do you think that the Saints are going to be there in the end, playoff wise? Because they have been playing so well. I mean, obviously the streak is going
in the playoffs.
Yeah, like, do you think that they're going like capable of making a deep playoff run? Do you think they'll survive this like exchange with the rest of the?
I think so because they have a good running game.
Mm-hmm. And their defense is like it plays surprisingly
decent.
well.
Yeah, like good running game usually goes pretty far in the playoffs. Passing game, it's kind of hit or miss because if that doesn't work for a team, sometimes they don't really have a lot of other options.
Yeah,
so,
anything else to fall back on.
Yeah, I think the Saints will get in there either as division champion or wild card. I'm not so sure about them getting a bye, but you never know.
Yeah. Should we do predictions for the Atlanta game?
Sure, why not?
What is your prediction, sir?
I think the Vikings will win. Surprise. Let's see. It's on the road, so probably be close. We'll go 28-17.
28-17.
Sorry, I took your number.
Yeah, you totally took my score. I think that the defense is going to play really, really well, and I think Xavier Rhodes is going to totally kill it, and I think they're going to turn him over a bunch, and I want this more than I actually see it happening, but I'm going to predict that the Vikings are going to roll 31-14.
Wow.
I know. I'm going out there. I don't know why. I just got a good vibe. I feel like they're not going to be able to handle the Vikings defense. I feel like the defense is going to dictate what they're doing, and I feel like our offense is playing well enough where they can put up a ton of points now. Or not a ton, but they can at least score in bunches, and when that happens and you don't have the refs keeping the game close, then they'll win by a lot.
I was just looking at it, and the Saints and Falcons play twice in the next 5 weeks.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Who do you think comes out on top of that? I mean,
The Saints.
think the Saints will? Yeah.
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 I just don't think the Falcons have like
So
enough.
cool.
It is. It could go either way, really.
Yeah.
But but I was watching highlights or whatever of the Falcons game yesterday, and there was like they were playing at home, and there was like no one in the stadium, and they have a brand new stadium.
Brand
I'm
new
like,
stadium. That was just this year it came out, right?
Like where is everybody? I mean, I know Atlanta's not the greatest town for sports cities. Like they never really sell out anything, but I'm just like you just got a brand new stadium and you can't sell it out. And they're supposed to have like those super cheap concessions or whatever too.
Yeah.
And
Affordable concessions, and didn't they have that was the Georgia Dome? That was so long. Like you had the place that they were playing for so long, and now it's a brand new stadium and you can't get anybody to go. It's like it was like 40 years you hadn't had a new one.
25.
40, 25. I mean, come on.
It was funny because
About
people
the
were
same.
commenting like, "Oh, good thing they got rid of that 25-year-old stadium. So old."
So old. Stupid thing. How old was the Metrodome? That opened in like 81, I think. No.
Really? That was like.
I feel like it's always older. A lot older than I remember it being. Because I was thinking like 91, 90. But.
No, it's either the late 70s or early 80s sounds right.
Metrodome opening. Search.
1982.
82. What did I say? 81.
81. So you were close.
It was not too bad. But that 82
They opened that dump in 82.
82 to 2016.
Can't believe they made the Twins play in there.
That's the most ridiculous thing. I was just talking with a coworker about that today. That was like the ballpark I looked forward to going, like small town Minnesota guy. We would drive to the city and like, it's beautiful. And now I'm old enough to know that was not beautiful. That was a horrible place to play baseball. It was like, that's not grass or anything close to grass.
Cement.
Yeah.
Cement
with carpet over it.
So imagine playing football on that. Like now you're like, oh, now I know why Robert Smith retired early.
Yeah, no kidding. If that was what you were falling on every week, no way, man. Yuck. But yeah, that place, unbelievable. What
was that? Was that movie they made? Was it Little Big League or something? That was the Twins.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I remember. The
I haven't seen
Metrodome
that
from.
movie in a really long time. The Metrodome.
Lots of good old sports movies set in Minnesota. You had the Mighty Ducks. They're in Minnesota. Little Big League.
There's one that I'm totally missing.
Isn't Herb Brooks from Minnesota?
Oh yeah, definitely. All kinds of hockey movies.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I never got into hockey. I was a basketball guy. So
really,
yeah. So I understand how the game works, and I am, because I like sports, I'm like aware of who the kind of important
I like going to hockey.
are. Yeah, that's the difference too. Is I bet if I would have seen a live hockey game in my youth, I probably would have been all over it. But I didn't see one until I was like in college, and it blew my mind. It was like the coolest, like one of the coolest sporting events I'd ever been to.
Even my wife, I can get my wife to go to hockey games because there's fights, so she always looks forward to that.
Yeah, those are fun too. And that actually the Excel Energy Center in St. Paul, where the Wild play, that is a really cool building too. You
guys got a lot of cool places out there. We've got a decrepit old 1974 baseball/football stadium out here in San Diego that they have no idea what to do with. But then you got Petco Park too. So
yeah, Petco Park is pretty nice. And isn't that like right in the main?
Yep, it's right downtown.
Yeah. So. That's really cool too, because not that the Metrodome not that US Bank Stadium isn't. It is downtown, but it's like kind of on the edge of downtown there. But that the Twins Stadium is right in the middle of. You know, it's like First Avenue and Target Center, and then that ballpark is right behind it, which is really cool. Did you know
Oh boy.
The year that stadium opened up, ESPN did like poll thing about like the best sports experiences, and so it was like all the sports, all the stadiums in the country. And number 1 was Lambeau, which I've heard is incredible, and number 2 was Target Field.
Really?
Yeah.
The year they built it?
It was like the year after it had opened, ESPN did this thing, and they put it number 2 of all the stadiums in the country behind Lambeau.
They must have good food.
They do have pretty good food and a ton of different like beer options.
Yeah, that's the key.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of at Petco Park out here. There's like all their beer is pretty much all local.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, there are definitely a lot of local kiosks, for lack of a better term. What do they call those things? Yeah, the stands, the beer stands.
booths.
Booths. Thank you. Yeah, the booths.
Yeah, they're selling cell phone. They sell cell phone covers too.
Would you like a $14 beer or a lightning charger for your iPhone?
See? Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Yeah.
Actually, we should write that down and start a business. Just have it like a bar /
Charge your phone
electronic station
while you drink.
Yeah, there you go. That's a really good idea. Open one, open them in like airport terminals.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, they probably would have that because airport terminals have outlets. So
Well, I mean, but we would have beer too, though. So,
yeah, because they don't have outlets in the bars at the airports.
No, not on. We would be moving mobile on wheels. That's what sets us apart. All right, so the idea needs a little bit of work, but I think it's there. I think the seeds are there.
Mm-hmm. Did you have a prediction? Oh yeah, you did.
Yep, they're rolling.
They're blowing them out.
I don't know why I did that. I want that to happen. I feel like it can. I have such an outrageous amount of confidence in this football team.
Well, I think that a Trufant injury could make a big difference if he's out. Because I don't know. I don't even know who their other corner.
I have no idea about anybody on their defense. I have no idea.
Well, they had what's his name? Adrian Claiborne had 6 sacks like 2 weeks ago when they played the Cowboys. Because the Cowboys are just poop now.
Do they have that incredible D tackle? Is that who that guy is? 6 sacks human? Who is that? What is he? Is he
Claiborne? He's a defensive end.
Defensive end. All right, maybe that's not him.
They had someone from Minnesota that used to play Hagman.
No idea.
No idea.
Nothing. I got nothing. So that gives you a little glimpse into how much video I've watched on Atlanta. So
Joe Buck. I don't think Joe Buck's calling the game, so it should be good.
That's exciting. Are we in the time of year now? Ouch! Where the games start flexing, and because the Vikings are good, all their games are going to be late. Like starting.
That starts like mid-season.
Have they already been flexing?
Yeah, that starts like mid-season. They didn't flex last night. Like with the Packers and Steelers, you would have thought that they would have.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
But the Vikings can only be flexed to like the 4:00 Eastern time slot because all their games start at noon Central Time, 1:00 Eastern, and you can only move them like one time slot. So
really? So it can't be like the Sunday night game unless it's the late
except
game
for week 17. Then I think it's any game can be flexed to Sunday night. But
and that makes sense because there's so many meaningless games at that point.
Yeah,
so
it'll probably be like Eagles and Cowboys. So just because.
Interesting. Should we start predicting like what we think this playoff is? How deep is this team going to go in the playoffs? Are they capable? Yeah, are they capable with this setup of going to the NFC Championship game and winning it?
They're capable of going to the Super Bowl. I know people don't want to talk about it, but they are.
I would be. If it was only Case Keenum's success...
They can beat the Eagles.
Yeah, if it was only Case Keenum's success, I would be much more skeptical. But that defense is so good. The offensive line has played so well. It just seems like such a well-rounded team. It's not...
As long as they don't, have to kick the ball, then they'll be good.
Yeah, that's the... Honest to God, that's the only question mark that I'm seeing on this team is... And it's not even the field goals, it's the extra points. At some point, he's going to miss an extra point that's really going to hurt him.
Well, apparently... He got him blocked this week, right?
Yeah.
or Thursday.
Well, and that was that was one of the plays that Zimmer was all bent out of shape about.
Yeah, because apparently the Lions were like hopping over the long snapper's back, and you're not allowed to do that. But
Cheating.
of course, the refs didn't call that play. But yeah, it wasn't. I don't think that was necessarily Forbat's fault, even though I said afterwards he should start looking for a new job. But I mean, there's not a whole lot of options you can do. You can't bring a new kicker in right now. There's 5 games left.
That's there's nobody out there that's going to be better than him, and so you got to roll with him.
Yeah, the whole like long snapper holder kicker relationship, like that's already developed.
Can't mess with that chemistry.
No, look at the Bears. They just got rid of their kicker last week after he missed that one against the Lions. Mm-hmm. And the new guy came in and he missed like his first field goal. So
kickers are kickers, man. They get
why are there no good kickers? Like, just go get like an English soccer player and he should be able to like boot it through there.
Here's like an actual like real question. When we were younger, there were always there was like Gary Andersons or Morton Anderson. Where is the Anderson for now who doesn't miss ever and is just really, really good? You know, like those kickers aren't there anymore.
Where's the one that only misses in the NFC Championship game?
Yeah, I mean, even that, that was obviously not very cool. But he went like, how long was that? A full season or like 2 seasons without missing?
No, that was a full regular season.
Yeah. So, like, where did all of these guys go? Did it really, like, did the NFL really, like, just destroy every kicker's confidence by changing the PAT, like, distance? Did they just, like, destroy the confidence of all kickers?
I don't know. I guess that has had a pretty big effect on kickers. I mean, I like that because
it's more entertaining. Yeah, I enjoy it. I mean, not when my team misses
slash stressful. But, I mean, at least I think Blair Walsh missed another field goal yesterday.
I love it when he misses for other teams.
I think I saw something that he's missed like 31 field goals in 82 games.
Really? Those are not good numbers. But it just seems like these guys just bounce all over the place. And, like, I know that, like, Morton Anderson played for a ton of teams and, you know, all these kickers, but, like, is there any... I don't want to say Hall of Fame kicker because there aren't very many kickers in the Hall of Fame, but like, so I'm not expecting there to be like 7 Hall of Famers kicking around. But
Vinatieri.
Yeah, that would be like it. And Janikowski, I would maybe.
No.
Yeah, dude.
He's horrible.
First round pick, legend. He's still kicking. He was picked in like 98.
He's not kicking. He's hurt this year. He's on IR.
Yeah, because he's 100 years old. Of course he gets hurt.
I think they only kept him for kickoffs anyways. He's not that like great of a field goal kicker.
Yeah, not.
There's Gostkowski.
70 yards though.
Gostkowski on the Patriots.
Would you rather have Kai Forbath or Janikowski? Not because now because he's injured, but in general.
Kind of Forbath.
I'm a Janikowski guy.
Yeah.
Sign me.
Who else is there? There's other. Justin Tucker on the Ravens. There's a bunch of.
The Detroit kicker is really good. Prater.
Yeah,
he's unbelievable.
Good.
I would give him that.
I don't like him because he always makes kicks against the Vikings.
It drives me crazy.
Like
they do
60-yard kicks.
The field goal line. Here's your range.
Yeah.
That. How come we don't have a kicker where that line is way?
When are we going to get to the point where the lines are actually on the field?
What? Say that again.
That's like the first down lines. When are they gonna get to the point where those are like actually on the field?
Exactly. So everyone can see them.
Yeah, they've been doing that on TV
question.
for like 20 years. You can't figure that out.
That's the other thing about the NFL that kind of bothers me is like we are watching like this bubble of old school ridiculousness happening. They just had a thing where they like, we bring a tent in now. It's like it's 2017. You brought a tent. You have like an ice fishing like tent.
So they have privacy.
Yeah, but it's like 2017, man. Like,
well, they just got
projected
iPads,
lines on the. That's what I'm saying. Like, get with the times. Like, have a light on the field so that we have the technology.
They only generate like $13 billion in revenue.
Exactly.
Okay?
You got the moolah, and not only that, you would just put somebody's name on there. You don't have to pay for anything. Can say Marriott on the first down marker on the field.
Oh yeah.
That goes across. Paid for.
They don't even have cameras on The pylons.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I wonder about those pylon cameras because I bet they're really expensive and I bet they break when they get run into. And they always get run into. I do like that angle, though.
How expensive?
Yeah. When you have billions.
Yeah.
Many billions.
When Mike Glennon's getting paid millions of dollars to sit on the bench.
Great point. Great point. If Mike Glennon gets that contract, you can figure out a way to make pylon cams not break, and you can figure out a way to put the first down markers line on the field.
Yeah.
These are important conversations that we're having, Adam. I'm glad that we got off a little bit and went here.
Yeah, we'll save that for the technology podcast.
Yeah, exactly. That's on Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
I would be so bad on that podcast.
Yeah.
Technology. I just called I got
Just
a
use
new
my
TV.
phone.
Have I talked to you about my new TV? I got a big TV for my birthday. I've been watching football on like a 22-inch screen.
Oh, no.
It was really bad. I didn't talk a lot about it because I was kind of embarrassed.
Do you sit like a foot away from it?
I did sit really close. I did. But now I got a big TV, and it's a smart TV. One button for Netflix, one button for...
Yeah.
I
got one of those.
I'm in heaven. I didn't know, like I'm here now. And so technology, anything's possible.
Yeah.
2 months ago, I didn't even Skype. Now I Skype weekly.
Yeah, I
smart TV, so
I stream stuff from my computer to my TV and stuff, It's pretty crazy these days.
It's just it's like Star Wars only cooler.
Hey, but you got to keep those clean coal factories around.
That's true. They're important.
Oh god.
All right. Do you anything else? Do you have anything else to say, Adam?
I'm glad the Vikings don't get into brawls
Yeah.
like the Broncos and the Raiders yesterday that Cordero Patterson had to get in the middle of.
Was that Crabtree again? And the same guy, right? So they have
Talib.
Don't like each other.
Talib snatched his chain off again.
You just can't do it twice.
Don't wear it.
It's not okay. Well, I mean, see, and here, let me ask you this question. Are you one of the people who says, that's a terrible way to frame this, by the way. Are you one of those people who says that if you don't want people grabbing your dreads hanging out the back of your helmet, you should just cut them off?
No, I don't care about that.
Because that argument bothers me too. Well, you should just cut it if you didn't want.
Because people have long hair too.
Well, yeah, but sometimes people wear gold chains, man.
Well, McKinnon's got his hair's getting pretty long these days. Yeah, I saw an interview with him today, and it's all in like a ponytail. So
really,
yeah, it's getting pretty long.
Interesting. I couldn't imagine wearing a helmet with a bunch of dreads on it. That would bug me. I don't think I could handle it.
I don't know. It's probably extra cushioning.
Yeah, good call. Those guys do usually hit harder.
And they wear like those little hats or some skull caps or whatever.
Yeah.
I wear those over those. Keep it all in there.
Keep it all together.
They don't want to mess up their hair.
It's a good call. Because I mean, if you had it for that long and it's that,
well, like why do you have to wear a chain anyways, or like diamond earrings?
Yeah,
T.O. used to wear.
Yeah, personally, I would not wear expensive jewelry while I was playing football in the NFL.
Yeah, because that stuff's not from like piercing pagoda. Mm-hmm. Like that's like $1,000 earrings.
Totally, and you just lost it. Oh, where is it? I don't know. Somewhere on the football field.
Yeah,
I can run 20 miles an hour. Could be anywhere over.
Somebody will find it and have a nice day at the pawn shop.
The grounds crew stoked.
Anything else happened yesterday?
That fight.
Packers lost. Julio went crazy. Garoppolo came in for a drive for the 49ers finally.
The Chiefs are like this year's last year's Vikings.
Oh yeah, the Bills started Tyrod and didn't throw 5 interceptions. It's weird how that happens.
Unbelievable that the Bills you did all that, and then
they gave up a game pretty much.
Yeah, and then beat the Chiefs, and are now like, I guess we're pretty serious about this season. Maybe it's like,
yeah,
who runs your who's in charge over there? Who's making these decisions?
That whole organization, I grew up that way, and it's been like that for a while. There's no patience out there for anything. Like,
That's ridiculous.
they wouldn't be able to develop like how the Vikings have the past couple of years, going from like 7-9. They should. That's what their goal should be for this year, to have like an 8-8 type of season. But they want to go beyond that for some reason every year when they haven't been in the playoffs in like 17 years. So that's a whole nother podcast in itself, pretty much.
I suppose, though, once you get, like, you go to 4, didn't they go to 4 straight Super Bowls?
Yeah, and then so did the Vikings in the 70s. Well, not 4 straight, but they went to 4 Super Bowls.
Yeah. See,
But yeah, they went to 4 straight.
Changes it. And then you
In the
got
90s.
Chris Berman predicting
That was
every
30
year.
years ago.
They
That was 30 years ago.
man. These fans get spoiled.
But you know what? You should have never benched Doug Flutie. You never would have lost that game to the Titans.
Yeah, dude. Oh, it's the Flutie curse.
Yeah. Flutie Flakes.
Oh, my God. I'm going to write that down.
The Flutie curse.
Flutie curse. I'm going to write. That's going in the hot dish.
Yeah, Rob Johnson. Remember him? He's another guy that stole money from the NFL.
What? How so?
Rob Johnson? The quarterback?
What?
Rob Johnson. You
Oh.
remember him?
No.
He was
I
the
have
guy
no
that started
recollection.
over Flutie on the Bills in that playoff game. Then because he used to play for the Jaguars, and they like signed him to a deal.
Oh, yeah. I remember him.
They're like, he's
When
going to be
was-
good.
What year was that? How old was
2000, I think.
2000? That wasn't the...
The Miracle.
Yeah.
The
Motor
the
City
music
Miracle?
team. Yeah, that was
Motor City
that was
Music.
that was the game. Wade Phillips was the coach. He didn't wear a headset.
No kidding.
Yeah. My dad always complained about that. He's like, why doesn't he wear a headset? He's the head coach. Like,
Don't
what are
need
you
it.
doing?
Making decisions up here. Don't need to
Yeah.
tell anybody else.
Oh, what? Like, how do you talk to people? Like, just shout. It's
I
not
just
like
yell.
it's like,
Yeah. How do you talk to the guys up there? I yell up there.
Yeah.
Like all the
Whatever.
fans. Dude, the Flutie curse. I'm gonna do some research on that. That sounds like a great article.
the Flutie curse.
Yeah, I'm into it. And anything, like, first of all, here, just last little bit on the Bills. What if your fans behave like that and your organization behaves like that? What do
Can
we
you blame?
Yeah, what
Can
do
you
we
blame
expect
Bills
to
fans
happen?
though
What do we expect to happen?
for being like that?
That many
They
years of no playoffs?
They really have nothing else to look forward to.
Besides jumping through tables that are on fire.
I mean, I don't know. They're at this point of the season, they're still in the hunt, even though they're definitely not going to make the playoffs because they're the Bills.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I saw some, like, somebody had a newborn baby or something and like christened them by like putting them through a fake table with like
Oh,
little
yes,
Bills
I
shirt
did
on.
see that.
I was like, oh, okay.
Newest fan. And, yeah. Or what
Yeah.
do they call it? The Bills Mafia or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a lot of those people.
Do you really?
Yeah, they're a interesting bunch.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, good time though.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I wouldn't want to do it now because, well, like, I don't drink and I wouldn't want to jump through a table. But at one point in my life, I would have been like,
Oh yeah,
way, way, way into that kind of a party.
it's something.
It's a nice way to put it.
It's no Vikings tailgate.
No,
you know.
God, no.
It's crazy out there.
Those Vikings fans, we're a different breed, you know?
Yeah, they clap a lot.
Yeah, clap a lot. We're better in every way. So that's a separate podcast, too.
All right, we gotta get out of here.
All right.
We'll be here all day.
Good talk. Yeah, we've been here a long time. Or not a long time, but over an hour. It's the longest one we've ever done. So
Wow.
good for us. I'll put in
Yep.
the applause, the fake applause.
Okay. Good.
All right. Well, you ready for our football team? We'll see you next week.
Yeah, hopefully after another win.
Yeah.
All right.
Lights.
Oh yeah.
Later.